Okay, what I'm going to do now is change the fuel filter, and on the 98 Dodge 24 valve 5.9, in my case anyways, the fuel filter is the kind that, it's a cartridge on the side, but it's the kind that the base of the cartridge, the whole canister drops out from underneath. I think some of the newer ones or some of the other models, the cover actually comes off the top and the canister comes out this way. First I got to remove this. This is a fuel pressure sensor. Goes into the dash so you can monitor the fuel pressure. So as you can see, I already took these off, and I actually already loosened up a little bit too, so I'm going to be able to spin this right off. Before you do this, actually, on the side down here, there's plenty of good videos on it. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not, because there's some stuff in the way. There's a little yellow valve here. It's your drain. You just pull that valve over to the other side, basically just opening a valve. There's a drain hose attached so you can catch all of your old, any fuel that's in this canister. That's also what you use if your water and fuel light comes on or anything like that. You want to drain that canister out, get any water out of there. So I've already done that. I have a bucket underneath there. You want to make sure you catch it so you don't make a mess and get it all over the place. Fuel's been drained out. There's also a wire down here, which I believe is the water sensor cable that's hooked to the base of the canister, and that has been disconnected. Just a little clip. So let's go ahead and take this apart. So put this up here, and then right in the center of this is a nut. I think you can just about see it. We're going to loosen that up and hold the canister from underneath and pull her out and change the filter. These two spots right here is where you check your pressure. Actually, I think this is the high pressure side where that hooks in. It shows you what your pressure is, but that's where you would check it. If you don't have a gauge, you want to hook up a gauge manual here and test it. So let me just get the wrench I need for that, and we will get that apart. So I was 9/16 with an extension. We'll go ahead and crack this loose. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to try to hold it as I go. Let's see if I can do it by hand. This filter has gone way too long. I should have changed it a lot earlier than that. Okay. So there's our canister. You can see this is the drain valve I was telling you about. You just turn that over and it'll drain everything out of the bottom of the tank, and there's where your water sensor plugged in here. And here is the gasket. The filter. There is some crap in there. I'll set it right there for a minute. And I'll just show you a comparison here. Basically, I just took that down and dumped all the extra fuel out of the canister just so I could clean it. So there's the old and the new. Hopefully you can get a good comparison there. I can't really see the camera very well myself. So it's dirty. It looks like there could have been some water in the base of it too. Hard to tell. So we're going to get rid of that one. Drop it down right there. And we will clean this out. Like I said, I already dumped it, but you see you can get it all good and cleaned out. How well you can see, put the light in there a little bit. So that's in pretty good shape now. Wipe it all out. Wipe around the outside too to keep anything from falling down in there when you're putting it back together, and make sure your seals seal. So alright, I'll set that aside for a minute. One of them goes right here in this spot. Just pop in there. One goes on this outer rim. There is a spot for it to sit into. So make sure that's all on there like that. And then there's a third O-ring that goes on your canister. I suppose that. See it right here, right on the edge of this. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off. So there's the old and the new. Got a new one, you might as well use it, but before I put it on, I'm going to clean this up, make sure that surface area is free of any particles. And we'll go ahead and roll this down over there. So that's in place. Make sure she's good and you'll feel it kind of go on a little bit stiff partway down, and that's that inner O-ring. And push that down. There we go. Alright, I'll hold on to that. Alright, back underneath there. Should put some Teflon back on this, or something this year. It looks like they had Teflon on it, but I may have to use that spot to bleed it, so I'm not gonna do too much with it yet. Okay. Alright, that's how you change the filter. And of course now I gotta bleed the system, get all the air out of it, and then we'll fire it up. So I gotta shut the camera off, move a bunch of stuff out of the way, get the system bled, and we'll go from there. I figured I'm gonna show this part, or you probably might be able to hear it. What I'm doing is I'm bleeding the system, and what you gotta do is you turn your key on, which will cycle your fuel pump. But when you turn your key on, normally the fuel pump only runs for so to get the pump to run longer, you gotta bump your engine. So you just turn the key quickly to the engine, just starts to turn over, and let it off, and that'll let your pump run. They all run different. Mine's been running about 30 seconds, and that'll help bleed the air out of it, or it will bleed the air out of it. In fact, when I hear my pump stop, I've done it twice now, I can actually hear the air bubbling back into the tank, so it is pushing the stuff through. So I'm going to go ahead and do that once. You might be able to hear that process. I'm not sure. The other important thing is in between cycling your fuel pump, you want to leave your key. You have to leave your key on, obviously, while it's doing that. But before you do it again, shut your key back off and wait a little bit. Because remember, your preheater, your air intake heater is kicking on. And if you keep doing it over and over again, you could damage that because you're overheating it. So I leave it off for 30 seconds to a minute. Sometimes even longer before I cycle the pump again. Turn it on once to hear the pump just do its normal thing, and then we'll bump the engine afterwards so it'll go longer. Pump stops. Now I'm going to bump the engine, shut it off. Go ahead and bump the engine. And now I don't know if you can hear it. But the pump is running a lot longer. And I'm just checking for leaks while I'm doing this. Oh, the pump just stopped. And I didn't hear any gurgling that time. It's the third time, so I might go ahead and see if the truck will start. thanks for swinging by Shane's Main Shop. Please subscribe. If you have any questions to ask, please like, comment, and I'll see you next week, or sometimes maybe even sooner, for some more videos. Thanks again.